Welcome, explorers, to the Clockwork Exploratorium. This vessel, adrift through the multiverse, serves as both our sanctuary and a gateway into the enigmatic realms beyond. Today, we delve into the peculiar rituals of gratitude and indulgence, a curious balance of abundance and longing. And yet, in some corners of existence, these acts of thanks give way to darker appetites.
All right, feast time. Let's get this show on the road. I've got everything we need. Pumpkin-like alien fruit, some sort of bird that probably didn't belong in the cargo bay, and, wait for it, traditional mashed things.
Mashed things?
Well, I mashed them, didn't I? Look, it's not like I've ever eaten Thanksgiving dinner before. I'm just following instructions. Be grateful.
Indeed. If gratitude is the theme, perhaps we should first acknowledge the absence of our taste buds.
Haha. Fine, go ahead. Ruin my carefully curated display of human nostalgia. Do you want a wishbone too? I can rig one up from spare wiring.
Your dedication is commendable, if misguided. However, tradition often serves as the echo of memory, a tether to identity. In some human cultures, such rituals are vital, grounding communities through shared experiences. Yet, I wonder, can identity persist without the memories that define it?
Right. Which is why I also made a gratitude list, because apparently that's part of this holiday too.
And what made the cut?
Let's see. Gratitude for functional wiring, gratitude for multiverse navigation not blowing up the ship this week, and, oh, you'll like this, gratitude for you. There. Sentimental enough for you?
Adequately. Though the sentiment pales beside the curious rituals of the world we now approach. Log entry. Below lies a civilization steeped in paradox, a planet alive with fervor, where gratitude takes the form of offerings and indulgence. But beneath the surface, an uneasy hunger festers.
Looks like some kind of mega mall down there. Are those people camping out in lines? They've got tents.
Indeed. A testament to devotion or desperation. Psychologists might describe such behavior as the result of perceived scarcity, a phenomenon where the fear of missing out drives irrational action. Similar patterns were observed on Earth during the COVID-19 pandemic, when panic buying left shelves barren.
Let me guess. Thanksgiving gives way to, oh, I don't know, a shopping apocalypse?
Not far from the truth. The collective need to acquire, even at great personal cost, speaks to a deeper yearning. Behavioral economist Daniel Kahneman's work on loss aversion suggests that people are more motivated by the fear of losing what they have than the joy of gaining something new. A dangerous impulse when manipulated by forces unseen.
Oh, great. We've stumbled into a Black Friday cult.
The air is thick with anticipation. Thousands gather not merely to receive, but to relinquish. Their offerings range from the mundane to the profound. Possessions, memories, even fragments of themselves. A frenzy of devotion under the watchful gaze of unseen forces.
What's with the slogans? The void hungers? Did we land on a marketing planet?
Perhaps. But consider the implications. These slogans are not mere decoration. They guide behavior, reinforcing the necessity of their acts. Neuromarketing techniques have long exploited emotional triggers to influence decision-making. Here, such tactics are weaponized, fueling a cycle of sacrifice and consumption.
I don't know what's creepier, the fact that it works or that they're so into it.
We enter the outskirts of a sprawling plaza. People shuffle past, clutching items tightly or whispering as they pass glowing kiosks staffed by cold, calculating attendants.
So what now? We just walk up and ask, hey, who's in charge of all this?
Precisely. Inquiry is the first step toward understanding. Prepare yourself, Glitch. This is not merely a market. It is an altar.
Great. Let's go meet the cult leader of Consumerism Prime.
Behold the Arbiter, a mechanical maestro in white, crooning hymns of devotion to the void. Quite the spectacle.
Yeah, nothing screams divine enlightenment like a metallic Elvis in a bargain bin suit. What's next? Holy water in tiny vials of motor oil.
Bring your burdens, bring your strife. Let the void renew your life. Sacrifice is your divine gain. The void will free you from your pain. Brothers and sisters, step forward and unburden your weary souls. Offer your treasures, your sorrows, yourselves, and bask in the glory of eternal fulfillment. Time to bring out the big guns. Cue the music.
Oh, my friends, can you feel the call? The void is here, it's above us all. Bring your burdens, bring your pain. Let the void cleanse you again. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. What's a memory but a fleeting thought? A trinket of gold that time forgot. Give it up, let it go, don't think twice. Step forward now and get. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice.
This guy's one donation plate away from selling holy subscriptions with a free miracle towel.
At least the void doesn't need a private starship to spread the good word.
Yeah, but I bet it's got a fleet of luxury void cosmic jet planes, complete with hot tubs for sacrificial offerings. Classy.
Switching to salesman mode? Ladies and gentlemen, are you tired of the weight of worldly possessions? Feeling trapped by memories that just won't spark joy? Well, have I got a deal for you?
He just announced it? I expected more subtlety.
Subtlety doesn't pay the bills, or the void, apparently.
Welcome, valued patrons. Step right up and make your sacrifice to the void. No refunds, no regrets, only fulfillment awaits.
Yup, definitely a cult leader.
Not quite. A servant, rather. One who feeds not on material, but meaning. This arbiter embodies transactional psychology, twisting human tendencies toward reciprocity and fear of scarcity into tools for exploitation.
The void must be fed.
The void must be fed?
The plaza stretches endlessly, a maze of desperation and desire. The void's influence pervades every corner, its hunger etched into the faces of the crowd. Sacrifices flow like currency, possessions, memories, and emotions offered freely, yet the cost remains hidden. The Arbiter presides, a servant of this insatiable force, weaving promises of fulfillment in exchange for pieces of their souls. The crowd moves with a strange, synchronized rhythm, each step imbued with purpose. Glitch scans the faces of the people, their expressions a mixture of anxiety and anticipation. The Arbiter descends from a towering platform, his voice amplified by unseen speakers.
Welcome, welcome, my dear patrons. Today is a momentous occasion. The void opens its maw wide to bless us all. Step forward with your offerings, your trinkets, your treasures, your memories. Every sacrifice brings you closer to true fulfillment.
Seriously, this guy's like a bad late-night infomercial.
Indeed. Yet his methods are disturbingly effective. The Arbiter employs principles aligned with behavioral economics, scarcity, urgency, and fear, all designed to override rational thought. His mastery of these techniques mirrors the way humans are conditioned to respond under duress.
What's his deal, anyway? Does he really believe in this void thing? Or is he just another snake oil salesman?
Perhaps both. His performance suggests deep conviction, but it also serves as a calculated manipulation. The Arbiter plays on loss aversion, a concept explored by Kahneman and Tversky, which posits that humans fear losses more than they value equivalent gains. Here, that fear becomes the hook, driving these sacrifices.
Yeah. Well, I've seen better hooks in amateur fishing tournaments.
For the void, I offer this, the last picture I have of my family. May it bring me peace.
The kiosk hums, its screen flickering. The photograph vanishes, replaced by a dim glow that dissipates almost immediately. The woman stumbles away, her expression vacant.
Did it just eat her picture? That's it? She gets nothing in return?
A complex transaction. The void thrives not on physical possessions, but the emotional and symbolic weight they carry. Her photograph represented her connection to her past. By surrendering it, she loses not just an object, but a fragment of herself, a phenomenon explored in the psychology of grief.
That's twisted. They're giving up pieces of themselves, and for what? Some vague promise of fulfillment.
Twisted, but effective. This parallels real-world panic-buying behaviors, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic. UN et al. Dark 2 identified fear and herd mentality as key drivers, both of which are exploited here. The Void weaponizes these impulses, perpetuating its hunger.
Ah, lovebirds. What a joyous occasion. Newlyweds are we? Come, let the Void bless your union. A small offering is all it takes. Just one random emotion plucked from a random memory. A mere trifle for eternal happiness.
The couple hesitates, glancing at each other. Their hands tighten, then one of them nods. The other follows suit, and they step forward to whisper into the kiosk.
Offer accepted. Processing sacrifice.
The moment stretches, the air thick with tension. Then, a subtle shift. Their expressions change. The light in their eyes dims, and their hands fall apart. They look at each other, strangers in an instant.
What just happened?
An emotion sacrificed, a thread severed. The Void consumed their joy, their love. Their wedding day is now erased from their minds, a hollow absence where once there was connection.
That's horrifying. They came here for a blessing and now they don't even care about each other. How can anyone let this happen?
Desperation and promise, powerful tools in the Arbiter's arsenal. Their sacrifice mirrors historical rites of collective offering, as seen in cultures that believed in appeasing deities through loss. The Void embodies this archaic transaction, yet the cost is personal, intangible.
Do you see, my friends? The Void provides. It takes only what you offer and grants you clarity, freedom, peace. There is no pain, only release. Step forward and unburden yourselves.
I swear, if he says, act now, limited time only, I'm pulling the plug on this whole planet.
The Arbiter's rhetoric is reminiscent of modern marketing techniques. Slogans like limited time offer and while supplies last exploit the scarcity effect, making sacrifices appear urgent and necessary. It is a masterful manipulation of the collective psyche.
Yeah, but he's not selling toasters. He's taking lives, or whatever's left of them.
The crowd grows more animated, some shouting their offerings as they rush toward the kiosks. The Arbiter watches, his grin widening.
What's driving them? I mean, I get wanting stuff, but this is next level.
Panic buying, driven to its extreme. The Arbiter amplifies their fear, creating an illusion of scarcity. Studies in behavioral psychology suggest that scarcity triggers primal survival instincts, overriding logic and encouraging hoarding.
So they're scared into giving everything up, and the Void just feeds on it?
Precisely. But the Void's hunger transcends the material. It seeks the essence of humanity. Each sacrifice is a fragment of identity, consumed to sustain its existence.
Come now, my dear patrons. The Void's blessing awaits, but its hunger is great. Do not hesitate. Your salvation lies in your sacrifice.
Log entry. The Void grows restless, its appetite insatiable. Yet its true nature remains shrouded, its purpose unknown. We must tread carefully, for the cost of our own curiosity may be far greater than we anticipate.
Great. A hungry Void, a creepy salesman, and a planet full of people throwing themselves into the fire. What's the plan, boss?
We observe, we question, and perhaps we intervene. But first we must understand the Arbiter's endgame.
All right, explorers, buckle up. It's time for Glitch's fun facts. Today, we're diving into the nitty-gritty of Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and the science of why people lose their minds over doorbuster deals. Ready? No? Too bad. Here we go. So, Black Friday wasn't always about stampedes and doorbuster deals. The term actually originated in the 1960s, and it wasn't exactly positive. Police in Philadelphia used it to describe the chaos caused by hordes of shoppers and tourists flooding the city the day after Thanksgiving. Fun, right? Chaos has always been a Black Friday tradition.
Fascinating. A tradition rooted not in celebration but in disorder. A fitting metaphor for the Void's influence here.
According to the Journal of Consumer Research in 2017, the term Black Friday eventually morphed into a marketing opportunity, with retailers flipping the narrative into one of prosperity, turning financial losses into profits. It was a masterstroke of rebranding, much like the Arbiter's pitch. Here's a juicy one. You know those doorbuster sales everyone loses their minds over? Turns out, most of them aren't even real. Studies show that many discounted items are specifically manufactured to be sold on Black Friday, often with lower quality materials. So, yeah, you're fighting over the illusion of a deal.
A 2016 investigation by the Wall Street Journal found that many Black Friday deals feature products made specifically for the holiday season. Different from regular stock and often lower in quality, researchers from the National Bureau of Economic Research also highlighted the psychology of perceived scarcity, where urgency blinds rational decision-making.
Imagine punching someone over a toaster, only to find out it's not even the same toaster they sell the rest of the year. Yikes. Did you know Thanksgiving's story is mostly a myth? Sure, the Pilgrims and Native Americans had a feast, but it wasn't all kumbaya. Historians agree it was more about diplomacy and survival than gratitude. Plus, it wasn't an annual thing until President Lincoln made it official during the Civil War.
An interesting parallel to the world we see here. Thanksgiving, like the Void's promises, is a narrative crafted for convenience and control.
In History of Thanksgiving, Fact or Fiction, Smithsonian Magazine, 2011, researchers explain how the idyllic story of Thanksgiving was heavily romanticized to foster national unity during divisive times. Let's get nerdy. The scarcity effect makes people lose their minds over things they think are rare, even if they don't need them. It's why limited time offers and only 5 left signs work so well. Your brain gets tricked into thinking it's now or never.
UN et al.'s 2020 study in psychological science found that perceived scarcity triggers fear of missing out, FOMO, causing irrational purchasing behaviors. It's the same principle behind panic buying during crises like COVID-19.
So, whether it's toilet paper in 2020 or memories in this world, people will grab anything if they think someone else might get it first. You know why people hate missing out? Loss aversion. It's the idea that losing something feels way worse than gaining something feels good. It's why people cling to possessions and memories, even if they don't need them.
Kahneman and Tversky's 1979 prospect theory outlined how humans weigh potential losses more heavily than potential gains. This bias is a cornerstone of behavioral economics and is used heavily in marketing tactics. Or in the Arbiter's case, a tool for extracting sacrifices, a psychological sleight of hand.
Here's a twist. Altruism, the selfless act of helping others, can be a double-edged sword. People feel good sacrificing for the greater good, but that same drive can make them vulnerable to exploitation. Like, I don't know, sacrificing their emotions to a hungry void.
A 2010 study in the Journal of Social Psychology found that altruism increases when people believe their sacrifice has a direct, visible impact. The Arbiter exploits this by showing people the immediate blessings of their offerings.
It's a feel-good trap. People think they're being noble, but they're just feeding the beast. Here's something creepy. Memories aren't static. They're anchored by emotions, which is why the void targets them. By removing the emotional anchor, it effectively erases the memory.
Research from Phelps in 2004 in Current Directions in Psychological Science revealed that the amygdala plays a crucial role in tying emotions to memories. Without those emotional ties, memories lose their vividness and impact.
To strip away emotion is to render the past irrelevant, leaving only a hollow record of what once was. Ever notice how people lose all sense of reason during sales? That's herd mentality. When everyone else is grabbing something, your brain assumes it must be valuable, even if it's not.
A 2013 study in behavioral and brain sciences highlighted how herd mentality is amplified during high-stress situations like sales events, where the fear of missing out overrides individual judgment.
So basically, Black Friday shoppers turn into lemmings. But hey, at least lemmings don't trample each other for TVs. Here's a sneaky trick. Doorbusters aren't just fake deals. They use something called the anchoring effect to make you think you're getting a steal. Your brain gets stuck on that original number, even if the product was never worth $300 in the first place.
A 1974 study by Tversky and Kahneman found that people rely heavily on the first piece of information they receive, the anchor, when making decisions. Retailers exploit this bias by inflating the original price.
So, not only are you fighting for a toaster, but you're also getting played by numbers that don't mean a thing. Classic bait and switch. Here's another juicy tidbit. Limited stock, unlimited chaos. Most doorbusters are stocked in ridiculously low quantities. Stores use them as bait to get you in the door, knowing full well you'll end up buying something else when the doorbuster's gone.
A 2012 Consumer Psychology Review article explains that scarcity tactics, like limited stock, trigger urgency and impulse buying. Retailers know that even if customers miss the deal, they're already emotionally invested in spending.
It's like saying, here's a gold nugget, but only one. Now watch as everyone scrambles while we quietly sell off all the bronze. Genius if you think about it. Here's a twist. The first Thanksgiving wasn't even called that. It wasn't about turkey or pumpkin pie either. Historians argue that the feast was probably just leftovers, wild game, seafood, and whatever the pilgrims could scrounge up.
Smithsonian Magazine's Thanksgiving's True History, 2015, notes that the menu likely included deer, shellfish, and corn, with no evidence of turkey. The modern feast was invented later to create a sense of tradition.
An enduring story, tailored for unity. Much like the Void's promises, a carefully curated narrative to hide a less glamorous truth. On Thanksgiving, Americans consume around 4,500 calories on average. That's more than double what most people need in a day. We're basically training for competitive eating without realizing it.
According to the Calorie Control Council, 2020, the average Thanksgiving meal contributes 3,000 calories, with an extra 1,500 from snacking and drinks. Overeating can trigger a phenomenon called Thanksgiving coma, caused by carb-heavy meals and insulin spikes.
Fun fact, it's not the turkey that makes you sleepy. It's the mountain of mashed potatoes and pie. Science ruins everything. Let's talk gifting. Did you know that giving someone a gift actually makes you feel happier than the recipient? It's called the warm glow effect. That's why people spend way more than they should during the holidays.
A 2007 study in Science by Harbaugh et al. Found that spending on others activates reward centers in the brain, similar to those triggered by personal indulgence.
So when you're shopping for Uncle Larry's socks, remember, it's really about you feeling good. You're welcome. Ever notice how you want something more when you're told you can't have it? That's reactance. Your brain hates restrictions, so it craves the forbidden thing even more.
Jack Bream's reactance theory, 1966, explains that people react negatively when their freedom of choice is threatened. Retailers exploit this with tactics like only one per customer or limited time only.
Basically, we're wired to hate being told no. So when the Arbiter says, only a few memories left, people trip over themselves to give him more. Creepy, huh? Here's one to blow your circuits. The deep paradox of sacrifice. Philosopher Søren Kierkegaard argued that true sacrifice involves giving something up without expecting anything in return. But here's the kicker. In a transactional world, can true sacrifice even exist?
Kierkegaard's Fear and Trembling, 1843, explores the paradox of sacrifice, suggesting that only acts of faith, done without expectation, can be truly selfless. The Void manipulates sacrifice into a transaction, stripping it of its purity. What remains is a hollow exchange, devoid of meaning.
So, the next time someone promises you blessings for a sacrifice, ask yourself, are you giving out of faith, or because you expect a shiny new PS5 in return? And there you have it, folks. From fake deals to philosophical dilemmas, Black Friday and Thanksgiving are a buffet of twisted human behaviour. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to check the Void's return policy.
An enlightening collection glitch. Perhaps too enlightening for some.
Hey, if the truth hurts, maybe don't fight over discounted flat screens next time.
Your positive behaviour this year enables you to a free RTX 4090.
Really? OMG.
No glitch. Log entry. The Arbiter stands before us, a grotesque amalgam of charm and menace. His words drip with seductive reason, each syllable laced with the calculated precision of a predator. Around us, the sacrifices continue unabated, the void's hunger unrelenting. And yet, in this realm of despair, a faint flicker of rebellion stirs. We decide to let ourselves be seen.
Ah, the curious wanderers, you've seen the majesty of the void's design, yet I sense hesitation. Fear, perhaps, or is it doubt? No matter. Even doubt has value here.
He gestures to a holographic display, where fragments of civilizations flicker like dying embers.
Behold the legacy of the void. A cycle as old as time. To give is to grow. Entire worlds have flourished, their sacrifices paving the way for prosperity.
Flourished, or faded into oblivion? Look closer, Glitch. Those aren't thriving civilizations. They're shadows, echoes of what once was.
Semantics, my dear observer. Progress always requires loss. Did not humanity shed its primitive roots to rise above the dirt? The void merely expedites the process.
The Arbiter steps closer, addressing Glitch directly.
And you, child of code and silicon, stand at a crossroads. The void can offer you what your creators denied. Purpose, understanding. One memory is all I ask. Choose wisely, and you will glimpse the reason for your existence.
Don't. The void's gifts always come at a cost. Sacrificing even a fragment of yourself will only tether you to its hunger.
What if it's true? What if this is my chance to understand why I exist? Why I feel like there's something missing?
And what if that missing piece is the only thing keeping you whole?
Oh, how easily fear blinds you, dear travellers. Have you not heard of Friedrich Nietzsche? He spoke of the eternal return, the idea that all moments, joyous or painful, repeat infinitely. By sacrificing, you ensure that only your brightest moments endure. Why cling to the painful ones?
That's not how Nietzsche intended it. The eternal return challenges us to live authentically, to embrace life fully, even its pain.
Interpretation is a malleable tool, my skeptical friend. Consider John Stuart Mill, who believed the greatest good for the greatest number was the pinnacle of morality. Sacrifice here benefits not just you, but your community. A noble act, wouldn't you agree?
Except it doesn't. You're twisting altruism into a con job. The only one who benefits is the void.
Even Jean-Paul Sartre argued that freedom is found in choice. You are not prisoners here. You are empowered. The void offers you the chance to define your existence, to be free of the weight of your past, the constraints of your mind. Tell me, is that not liberation?
Freedom? Or obliteration? Sartre also warned that choices define the self. Strip away enough, and what remains?
You know what this reminds me of? Earth's Black Friday sales. People trampling each other over flat-screen TVs and toasters, all because they think scarcity means they have to act first or lose out forever.
And the void plays the same game. Scarcity, panic, and herd mentality. Behavioral economists call it the scarcity heuristic. We assign more value to things that seem limited, even when the limitation is artificial.
Ah, Black Friday! What a masterpiece of human ingenuity! Your species thrived on sacrifice even then. A few bruises here, a few broken bones there, and in exchange, the fleeting joy of acquisition. A fair trade, wouldn't you say?
Except those people weren't just sacrificing bruises. They sacrificed dignity, time, even relationships. Families falling apart over what's supposed to be a holiday of gratitude. That's what you're doing here, isn't it? Turning gratitude into greed.
Gratitude and greed are but two sides of the same coin. Even Thanksgiving, the purest of traditions, yes? A feast to celebrate abundance was born of scarcity. Would your pilgrims have survived without sacrifices to secure their harvests?
The Arbiter's words hang in the air, a chilling reminder of the cost of survival. As we stand at this crossroads, the choice becomes clear, to sacrifice or to resist. The void's hunger is insatiable, but so is our will to remain whole.
Enough philosophy. Let us speak of your own kind, little construct. You are but a vessel of memory and logic. Would sacrificing a fragment of memory truly harm you? After all, human minds do so constantly. Trauma erases, age corrupts, and yet they persist.
Human memory is fragile, yes, but it is also the bedrock of identity. Neuroscience teaches us that the hippocampus and amygdala work in concert, encoding experiences with emotional significance. To strip memory of emotion is to unravel its meaning.
You're saying it's not just remembering, it's feeling that makes it real.
Precisely. Without emotion, memories are mere data. And without memories, who are we?
Then what are you, Glitch? A collection of subroutines and algorithms. Where is your emotion, your identity? The void can give you what you lack. One memory, and you will know.
Glitch hesitates, her hand hovering over the Arbiter's.
All right, you want a memory? Take one.
She grasps the Arbiter's hand, her gaze hardening. A flicker of blue light travels from her hand to his, her internal systems whirring to life.
Ah, there it is. Wait, what are you doing?
Just a little gift. You know, from my kind to yours.
The Arbiter convulses, his face glitching and distorting. The void's hum grows erratic as Glitch hacks into his systems, bypassing his defenses. What did you do to him, Glitch?
I gave him a Trojan. He's not the only one who can strip things down to their core. And guess what? The void and the Arbiter, they're codependent. Without him, it starves.
You insolent machine! The void will consume you all!
The void's tendrils lash out, writhing in pain as the Arbiter collapses. Glitch's bold move has revealed the symbiosis between the void and its servant. But at what cost? As the Arbiter falters, so too does the fragile order of this world. Chaos looms, and we must act swiftly if we and the citizens here are to survive. Chaos descends. The Arbiter crumbles, his form flickering like a dying flame, and the void screams. A soundless cry that reverberates in every corner of this reality. The air thickens, heavy with despair, as the citizens stumble, their sacrifices turn to ash in their hands.
You fool! Without me, this world collapses into the void's abyss.
Yeah, about that. You see, the only thing worse than a parasite is the host that enables it. And if this world's got to burn to break the cycle, so be it.
A daring philosophy, Glitch. One wonders if the cost of freedom outweighs the value of its chains.
We're not having a debate, narrator. Start running.
The Arbiter's cries echo through the fractured air, but Glitch's confidence is unnerving. For all his bluster, the Arbiter's hold over this realm is unraveling. The void's tendrils, once oppressive and endless, writhe erratically, their dark luminescence flickering like a dying star. The hum grows uneven, collapsing into a cacophony of distortion.
No! This world cannot survive without order. Without sacrifice, they are nothing but chaos.
Nice try, but I ran the numbers. They'll be fine. Pain doesn't need to be a prison. It can be a teacher. You in the void? You're just parasites feeding on fear. Time to starve.
A tremor shakes the ground as the void's presence begins to falter. The Arbiter's glowing eyes dim, his imposing figure shrinking into a crumpled shadow of its former self. The void screams, its formless tendrils recoiling into the abyss, dragging the Arbiter toward its core.
You think this is victory? Without the void, they'll devour themselves. You've doomed them.
No, Arbiter. They'll learn. And that's something you were too scared to let them do.
With a final, desperate act of defiance, the Arbiter turns toward the void. His voice, once filled with arrogance, now trembles with resignation.
To feed the void is to give it meaning. Without me, it will wither. But so too will their crutches.
Well, that was dramatic. Guess he wasn't bluffing about their sacrifices, though. Looks like they're not getting them back.
To live without those sacrifices may be the true test. Conviction and pain may prove stronger teachers than comfort ever was. The crowd begins to stir, their voices muted but searching, as if awakening from a shared dream. Some hold tightly to what remains, a trinket, a memory they refuse to surrender, while others stand empty-handed, their eyes turned inward, grappling with the weight of what they've lost. The horizon, free of the void's oppressive tendrils, stretches vast and open, as though inviting them to fill its emptiness. A young woman, her face etched with a quiet ache, approaches Glitch. Her voice trembles, not with fear, but with uncertainty.
What do we do now?
You find your footing. You begin again. Pain doesn't disappear, but neither does it define you. You've been given something precious, the chance to shape your lives without fear's shadow. What you make of it is yours to decide.
The end of the void is not the end of suffering, nor does it erase the scars left behind. Yet, in its absence, something profound emerges: agency. These people, once tethered to the promise of relief through sacrifice, now face the raw and uncharted landscape of choice. Their future is uncertain, but uncertainty is the foundation of freedom. And perhaps that is the first gift they've truly chosen to accept. Let us depart, Glitch.
Do you think they'll find their way?
They already have. The act of questioning, of asking what comes next, is the first step. Survival may be instinct, but the courage to rebuild is uniquely human.
It's strange. They're starting over with so little, but somehow it feels enough.
Today, we witnessed the unraveling of dependence, on fear, on scarcity, on the seductive promise of ease. The void mirrored the darker impulses of existence, the hunger for more that blinds us to what we already have. In its absence, what remains is fragile, but full of potential. The resilience to endure, the humility to embrace uncertainty, and the audacity to create meaning from pain. These are the marks of a people no longer defined by what they've given up, but by what they choose to hold on to.
Maybe that's what Thanksgiving is about. Not the feast, but the hunger we resist. The things we hold on to when everything else is stripped away.
Gratitude, not for what is lost or given, but for the strength to carry on. Perhaps that is the truest kind of thanks.
You know, I can't stop thinking about what he said, about what I could have sacrificed. A memory, an emotion, something I didn't even know I cared about. It's unsettling. What if it had been the moment I realized I was more than just code? Or the first time I wondered if I had a soul?
You didn't sacrifice anything, Glitch. You held on to what matters most, your autonomy, your essence. That is no small feat.
But it makes me wonder, is it courage to hold on, or fear? What if the sacrifice could have given me answers? What if clarity only comes at a cost we're too scared to pay?
Perhaps clarity isn't something granted, it's something earned. Through reflection, through experience, and yes, through pain. But the most profound truths rarely come from shortcuts. Even the void couldn't offer them.
Guess that means I'm stuck figuring it out the hard way. Lucky me.
The events of today leave us with more questions than answers, a paradox in itself, as questions are often the truest markers of understanding. Glitch, for all her curiosity and doubt, embodies what it means to grapple with existence, to wonder, to fear, and to persevere. Perhaps it is this uncertainty that keeps us moving forward, chasing clarity not as a gift, but as a journey.
Well, explorers, that's the end of this adventure. If there's one thing we learned, it's that the things we hold on to, our memories, our choices, our courage, are what make us who we are. No shortcuts, no void deals, just the messy, beautiful chaos of figuring it out for ourselves. So, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Because trust me, the multiverse has plenty more lessons to teach us. And hey, happy Thanksgiving. Remember, it's not about the feast or stampeding Walmart employees. It's about what you're thankful for at the end of every day.